Welcome back, everybody, to the Baltimore Orioles franchise here on MLB The Show 21. Today, we will be getting our first look at the minor league system. So far this season in the big leagues, it's been pretty solid. We're currently 16-12. Last episode, we called up top prospect Louis St. John, and so far he has been very impressive. In 51 at-bats, he's hitting .373 with 4 home runs and an OPS above 1100. Do I expect him to stay on his current pace? Definitely not, but it is great to see that he's adjusting to the major league level just fine in a very quick amount of time. Before we talk about the big league club in depth, though, I do want to look at the AA and AAA squads. We're going to start in AA with the Bowie Bay Sox. Bowie won the AA Northeast Championship last year, so we're going to try to go for, I guess, the repeat. There are a lot of familiar faces on this team and a lot of new faces, including last year's #1 overall pick, center fielder Xavier Bowman, who will mainly hit in the 2-hole. Bowman has played in AAA for the past month. He did pretty well. He hit about 300. I sent him down to AA because I think this is the level that he should play at this year. Only reason why he was in AAA is because AAA was playing, AA wasn't, and I figured I might as well give him playing time. The lineups against righties and lefties look a lot different. There are a few players platooning in and out, and based on who plays well, maybe certain guys will get to play against both righties and lefties, because for now, not many players are. The rotation is fairly similar to what it was last season in AA. No more Grayson Rodriguez or DL Hall, though. The bullpen is quite a bit different as well. However, the closer, Julian Starnes, who had a great season last year, is back. He progressed a ton last season, and he's going to be a staple in this organization for a while. Before we got to the AA game, I actually got a pretty tempting trade. Shortstop Jacob Amaya, who has a potential from the Dodgers in exchange for AAA relief pitching prospect Hideki Asuncion. I declined, but I was tempted. So let's get this one underway. The first AA game of the season against the Portland Sea Dogs, the AA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. Our Bowie Bay Sox, again, have a lot of the same players from the championship team last year. Guys like Deshaun Knowles, Adam Hall, Chad Spengenberger are back, but there are a lot of new faces as well. There are also a few mentors on this team. Yadier Molina and Darren O'Day were signed in the offseason to mentor some of the young guys in the organization. Steven Gonsalves will be starting for the Sea Dogs, a 26-year-old lefty trying to start his season off strong as he faces off against Xavier Bowman, the #1 pick. Bowman's first at-bat as a member of the Bay Sox, not a particularly good one. He swings at a low slider, ends up being a ground out to third. Nice play by the defense. A.J. Ladwig will be the opening day starter for the Bay Sox. He had a great season last year, part of the back end of a rotation, but now he is towards the top. 1 on, 1 out for Jonathan Arroz, who grounds into a 4-6-3 double play. Good work there by the infield to get that out, and we will transition a little bit forward now into the top of the second. This is last year's second-round draft pick, Julian Rubio. He goes down looking. So far, neither offense has really done much of anything. Vince Fernandez up in the bottom of the second. See ya! He goes down on the inside slider. Great pitch by Ladwig. Top of the third now. This is the third-round pick from last year's draft, Zach Durham. I'm excited to have Yadier Molina mentor him. Durham is super raw, but he has sky-high potential as he grounds out to the pitcher in his first professional at-bat. Steven Gonsalves has pitched 3 perfect innings up to this point. Bottom 3, runner on third, 2 away for Daniel Robertson. Loops that one into right. It somehow goes over the fence for a ground rule double. So we finally have runs on the board. It's 1-0. Bottom 4, still 1-0. Nick Decker gonna lead the inning off. Gets that one to drop fair for an extra base hit. So it seems like the Sea Dogs offense is finally starting to come alive, whereas the Bowie Bay Sox don't have a base runner yet in this game. Dylan Hardy, the following batter, gets that one over the glove of Kobe Mayo, another key cog on the championship team last year. That'll be an RBI single, and it is now a 2-0 lead in favor of Portland. Big hit there for Hardy. Are they done? Let's see. Fernandez, the next batter, gets that one to go into center. Xavier Bowman plays it well, but that'll be a double for Vince Fernandez. And the first 3 batters of the inning all reach base for the Sea Dogs. They now have runners in scoring position with nobody out for George Warren. He grounds it over to first. Kevin Maitan, acquired in a trade this past offseason with the Angels, will tag him, but a run scores, and it's now 3-0. Jeremy Rivera grounds that one to second. Dominguez bobbles it, does not get the throw in time. So an error on Christian Dominguez. Another run scores, and it will now be 4-0. 2 on now for Daniel Robertson. What a play by the first baseman Kevin Maitan to get out of the inning, but still a disaster as the Sea Dogs do score 3. Possibly could have scored more had Maitan not made that play. Let's go to the top of the 5th now. Gonzalez still pitching a perfect game, and that will finally change. A base hit here for Julian Rubio. He hits lefties really well. He's going to start the year only playing against lefties, but if he plays well, he will play against both lefties and righties. That'll bring up Kevin Maitan, the following batter. Rips that one into right center field. That one will drop for a base hit. That'll be a ground rule double. So now the offense is doing something. After no hits in the first 4 1/3 innings, they now get back-to-back hits. 2nd and 3rd for Hudson Haskin. He strikes out on the four-seam fastball. Nice pitch by Steven Gonzalez. And now Bowie's in a little bit of a pickle. They need a base hit here from the third baseman, Kobe Mayo, who had an awesome playoff run last year. He hits it pretty nicely into center, but not nicely enough. The play is made, and the Bay Sox finally get base runners. They had 2 runners in scoring position, unable to drive any home. Let's go to the bottom half of the inning. Cosmo Cruz, picked in the 4th round last year. He will enter in relief. Cruz was a diamond in the rough. B potential guy, a young player who has a ton of upside. As look at that play by Adam Hall at short. Unfortunately, Orioles did beat the throw, but that is still a pretty nice defensive play. Dylan Hardy goes down looking on the changeup. A nasty pitch by the 19-year-old out of Venezuela, Cosmo Cruz. And then here's Vince Fernandez, the next batter, grounds this one to short. Adam Hall will get the throw in time. A good first inning of work for Cosmo Cruz, and I think if he can play well in Double-A, he could be Major League ready sooner rather than later. Top 6 now, it's Xavier Bowman, who has not done a whole lot today. Rips that one into left field for a hit. Xavier Bowman definitely does not have the power that some of the other outfielders in this organization, like Louis St. John, Elliot Ramos, and Heston Kjerstad have. But he has great contact. He has a better glove than all 3 of those guys right now, even though they are all in the big leagues, the 3 guys I just mentioned. Unfortunately, Bowman will not score as Deshaun Knowles flies out to center. So it remains 4-0. The Bowie Bay Sox offense continues to struggle. Bottom 6, Cosmo Cruz still in. He has some stamina. I think he's a guy who can go for a couple innings at a time. But that's not a great start to his 2nd inning of the game as George Warren rips a double into right field. The Sea Dogs start the inning with a runner in scoring position. He would advance to 3rd now. 1 out for Jeremy Rivera, who drove in a run earlier. He's going to drive in another one. It's a ground out to short. Adam Hall makes the play. But runner does come home, and it is now 5-0. Top of the 7th, Steven Gonzalez is still in, and he is still cooking. He fools Kevin Maitan on the high fastball. I think Maitan expected that one to curve down, and it definitely did not. Bottom 7 now, another draft pick from last year. I believe the 5th rounder, Chet Ballard, will enter. Ballard does not have the upside that Cosmo Cruz has, but he's only 18 years old, hailing from the Netherlands as he would go through the inning 1-2-3, finishing it off with a strikeout. Good first impression for Chet Ballard, and we will move to the top of the 8th. No pitching change for the Sea Dogs because there's no reason to. Steven Gonzalez has still been unbelievable. That one somehow goes over the head of the 3rd baseman. That should count as an error. A really bad play defensively, but I mean, these are Double-A players. You're not going to expect great defense. Kobe Mayo now, 3-2, swinging a miss. A big strikeout there. Mayo took a hack at that one. Gonzalez with his 5th K of the day. 2 away now for Adam Hall. Grounds this one to short. He tries to throw it to second. He does. Haskin is barely out. A risky decision there by the shortstop, but I suppose it works out. 5-0 your score as we go to the bottom of the 8th. The sidearm throwing 40-year-old Darren O'Day is in. The longtime Baltimore Oriole going to retire as a member of the organization. He strikes out Almanza and gets through the bottom of the inning fairly easily. Impressive work here from the bullpen, but that's not going to matter if the offense doesn't do anything here in the 9th. Enrique Nunez checks in for Gonzalez. His first batter would be Xavier Bowman, who gets fooled by the curveball. Bowman finishes 1 for 4 of a base hit. Not bad, especially considering nobody else on the offense did anything. Terran Vavra now up in a pinch hitting situation. He hits that one high and deep and a right. and it is caught. And the Bowie Bay Sox do not get off to a great start to the season. They get shut out by the Portland Sea Dogs. Final score 5-0. This offense was really the main reason why they won the championship last year, and it's the offense that holds them back today. Now, yes, a lot of guys like Louis St. John, Xavier Edwards, Anthony McGaffick are not in the lineup, but I was expecting more than 4 hits and 0 runs. So not a great start for the AA team. Let's go to AAA now. The Norfolk Tides are ranked as the #1 team ratings-wise in all of AAA, but the record definitely does not reflect that. We are currently 8-16. Yeah, look at that. First in contact, second in power, first in pitching, 5th in speed. I mean, on paper, we're loaded, but we're just not winning games. Part of the reason why the team was somewhat competitive at the beginning of the year was because Louis St. John and Xavier Bowman both did pretty well, but Bowman's in AA and Louis St. John is in the majors now, so they're not here to help anymore. I do like a lot of these guys in the lineup. Christian Robinson, Zufus Polydouros, Xavier Edwards, of course, the A potential prospect who had a great year in AA last year. And the rotation has a lot of high upside guys as well. Grayson Rodriguez, Josh Wolf, DL Hall. Reynaldo Lopez has been really good, which has been great to see. And then the bullpen is loaded. A lot of good players in there. Got to watch out for Sir Anthony Dominguez, who was recently sent down because, of course, he has a 162 ERA this season in the big leagues. Yes, you heard that number right. But so far, he is rebounding in AAA. So we're going to play this game against the Gwinnett Stripers. I hope it's pronounced Stripers and not the other way you would think of it, because that'd be a little bit, I don't know, weird, I guess. Here's a look at both lineups today. A lot of talented players on this Norfolk team. Another player I didn't talk about is Carmen Sixto, the 75 overall first baseman, who could get some Major League action this year. Reggie McClain will be getting the start today for Gwinnett. Number 69 on his jersey, but number 1 in your hearts. Zufus Polydouros, the native of Greece, is up with 1 out, and he's going to rip that one 4 extra bases in left center field. Polydouros has a beautiful swing. He reminds me a lot of Xavier Bowman, a guy who's not going to hit for great power, but is someone who can be at the top of the order, hit for good contact. Man, there are so many good outfielders in this organization. It's almost overwhelming. Carmen Sixto strikes out. He's had a rough year, but played only hitting around 220 as we go to the bottom of the inning. DL Hall starting for the Tides. He's had a rough year. 6.23 ERA, whip above 2. If he doesn't pick it up, he could get sent down back to AA. Sean Beshore up with 2 outs. That one's going to go into left for an extra base hit. And after a bad throw from Zufus Polydouros, he's actually going to head to third for a triple. So a big hit there for Beshore, who's hitting like 370 this year. He's been really impressive. Luckily, it's not a big deal as the following batter would strike out. That's pretty much how the first few innings of this game would go. A lot of base hits, but no runs. So we're going to go transition all the way to the bottom of the 4th inning now. Sean Beshore is back up. Game's still tied at 0, of course. And he's going to get another extra base hit. This one will be a double. The throw a little bit better from Zufus Polydouros, I suppose. 2 away now. Runner on third for William Contreras. Down to that one right to DL Hall. 4 shutout innings of work from DL Hall, who needed a good start, and he's having exactly that. The only problem is Reggie McClain, the Stripers pitcher, is also having a great start. Cesar Mara leads off the top of the 5th, as the play is not going to be made there in second by Scooter Smith. So Mara, who was acquired in an offseason trade with the Giants, will reach base to start the inning. 1 away here for Anthony McGaffick. Looks like the Stripers are going to turn 2, but the throw from short is way off the mark. We'll see if the Tides can capitalize off of this great opportunity. 2 on, 2 out for Zufus Polydouros, and this one will drop for a hit. RBI single. It took our team's 14 innings to get on the board, but hey, we finally did it. Maybe 14 innings later than we would have wanted, but at least our offense finally does something in one of these games. Carmen Sixto now, the following batter, gets this one in the right center gap, and now the offense is going to try. Sixto with a 2-run double, and the Norfolk Tides strengthen the lead. It is now 3-0. A big hit there for Sixto. It took this team 5 innings to get going, but they're going. Aristides Aquino now 2-2, launches that one high and deep into straightaway center, back at the track at the wall, and it is gone. The offense has just completely exploded. A 429-foot nuke for Aristides Aquino. his second home run of the season. It's now 5-0. But why stop there? Charlie Denny now with a home run. His first professional home run, and it is now 6-0. Back-to-back 425-plus foot bombs for Aquino and Denny. And Reggie McClain, who was pitching great before this inning, doesn't even get out of the inning. Christopher Hamill will now enter. He faces off against Xavier Edwards. And finally, the Gwinnett Stripers get out of the inning, but not before allowing a 6 spot for the Norfolk Tides. 6-0 your score. We transition to the bottom of the 5th. 2 away here for Wendell Rijo, who gets this one in the left, and that should have been an out. Why did Zufus Polidoros not extend his glove? That does not make any sense. I'm not going to blame myself for that. Blame MLB The Show. And then, wouldn't you know it, the Stripers are going to score because of it, as Scooter Smith hits a single in the left, run comes home to score, and it is now 6-1. A nice hit there for Smith, who was signed as an international free agent last year. And it doesn't look like Gwinnett is done. The following batter, Justin Dean, gets that one into right, one of the top prospects in the Atlanta Braves organization. That'll be a triple for Dean. Scooter Smith scores from first, and it is now 6-2. The Stripers are mounting a comeback. But they're not done. Sean Beshore with his 3rd hit of the game. He is now a home run shy of the cycle. And all because Zufus Polidoros did not extend his glove, it's 6-3 instead of 6-0. The inning finally comes to a close as the cleanup bat will strike out, and that'll probably end D.L. Hall's day. Hall pitched really well, in my opinion, in this game. Should have been 5 shutout innings, but unfortunately, Zufus Polidoros made a bad defensive play, and then everything crashed and burned. Bottom of the 6th now, Will Brooks is in. He's had a great season, acquired from the Cubs in the Anthony Santander trade this past offseason, and so far he has looked the part. Drew Waters, one of the better prospects in this organization, with a single in the right. Obviously, the Braves have a lot of talent in the outfield as is, headlined by Ronald Acuna, but they also have plenty of prospects here, of course, guys like Drew Waters and Justin Dean. Eric Fila now with a shot into right field. Should be an easy catch for Aquino, but he completely misses it. The defense in this game has been unbelievably bad. I get that Zufus Polidoros is not a great defender, but Aristides Aquino is. He should have made that play. That's going to be a double, and then Jacob Pearson will drive both runners in. If it wasn't for the defense, this game would be 6-0 right now, but instead it's 6-5. That's actually going to be a double for Pearson. Again, a bad throw from Zufus Polidoros, who does not have a great arm out there and left. Will Brooks will be taken out of the game, and Sir Anthony Dominguez will enter. Dominguez has to be pretty intimidating. I get that he sucked in the majors, but he throws absolute gas, and I don't know if these AAA hitters are ready as he strikes out Wendell Rijo right there. Scooter Smith now lines this one to short. Xavier Edwards makes the play, and that will do it for the bottom of the 6th inning. You know, the Tides should be up 6-0 right now, but the Gwinnett Stripers have managed to take advantage of opportunities caused by this poor defense. Bottom of the 7th now, Sir Anthony Dominguez gets Sean Beshore to go down looking. He gets Drew Luggever to go down looking. And I feel like these batters are just intimidated. They're not even swinging. Drew Waters watches that one go right down the middle. These guys want nothing to do with the gas that Sir Anthony Dominguez throws. He is fired up, and if he keeps playing like that, he'll be back in the major leagues in no time. Tyler Webb is in the ball game here in the top of the 8th in relief for Gwinnett. 2 away here for Cesar Mara. He has a couple hits today. Why not add a third? A single in the right field for Mara. The Norfolk offense has literally done nothing this entire game. I know we have not talked about them a lot, but other than that dominant 5th inning, the offense has been really disappointing. Anthony McGathick, 1-2 pitch. Swinging a miss on the low fastball. Webb gets out of the inning. And the Norfolk offense, again, with a rough inning. Let's go to the bottom half of the 8th. Hideki Asuncion, who was acquired in a trade last year at the deadline with the Mets, will check in. He strikes out the catcher, William Contreras, the younger brother of Wilson Contreras, who of course signed a big contract with the Colorado Rockies this past offseason. Eric Fila goes down on the slider, and the bullpen has been really impressive. Minus the defensive errors, Will Brooks was doing well, and then Dominguez and Asuncion were great. Top 9, Carmen Sixto with a single into right field. Norfolk has 13 base hits today. The Tides have not had trouble getting base runners, but outside of the 5th inning, they have done an awful job of capitalizing with runners on base. And sure enough, with 2-1, Aristides Aquino strikes out looking. So that'll bring us to the bottom of the 9th inning. Can the Norfolk Tides hang on for the win, or can the Gwinnett Stripers pull off a comeback? Matthias Hundertwasser, the closer, is in. He's had a rocky professional career so far, but he's had a good season so far this year. 3 saves and 3 save opportunities. As with 1 out, Scooter Smith rips a single into center field, and the tying run is now on base for 2 really good batters due up in Justin Dean and Sean Beshore. Dean strikes out swinging a big K for Hundertwasser, and that'll bring up Beshore, who's already 3 for 4 today. 2-2 pitch. Hits that one in the left center field. Play should be made there by Christian Robinson, and it is. A weird game, but a win nonetheless. You can't really complain. 6-5 is your final score. Normally 6 runs off of 13 hits is a really strong offensive day. But I don't feel like the Tides offense was very good. They had that dominant stretch in the 5th inning where they were able to get some runs in after the error. If it weren't for bad defensive plays, this game legitimately could have seen no runs, because in the 3 combined innings that these 2 teams scored, they were all because of bad defensive plays prior in the inning, which is really wild. Although I was not impressed with the offense, I did like what we saw from the pitching. DL Hall I thought was pretty good, and the bullpen did a great job as well. Now let's talk about the big league team, and our Orioles have been a pleasant surprise through the first month of the season. Currently 16-12 up to this point. I really wanted to play against the Mets because they've been really good, so I simulated this series against the Seattle Mariners, and we ended up getting a clean sweep over them. So we are now 19-12, playing some outstanding baseball. We have a 3.5 game lead over the Blue Jays in the division. I don't want to wrap our heads around that too much because things can change in baseball very quickly. We're still a very young squad, and I'm not totally confident that this team can win the division, but we have been really good so far through the first 31 games of the year. The main reason why we've been good has been the offense, and a lot of these young guys have really progressed very nicely this season. I especially want to talk about Adley Rutschman, who started the year off kind of slow, but now not only does he lead us in home runs, but his batting average is .346, which is among the leaders in the American League. Heston Kjerstad as well. His average for much of the start of the year has been low. He's now hitting .300 with 7 home runs. Obviously, Marco Luciano's been great. Louis St. John has been great. Looking at the team stats, we're 4th in average, tied for 4th in runs, 4th in hits, tied for 5th in home runs. And as you can see, the offense has been great. Very high in RBIs as well. We are 6th. Now, these young guys still have a lot of work to do. We're 29th in walks, and we have struck out more than any team in the league. But our offense has produced at a very high level up to this point, and I'm really happy with how we've hit the ball. The problem is the pitching has not been great. The starting rotation has been very inconsistent, to put it nicely, and the bullpen's been a little bit up and down too. I know most of these relievers have pretty good numbers, but don't forget that Sir Anthony Dominguez had a 1.62 ERA when he was up here. Looking at our pitching stats, 23rd in ERA at 4.5, 21st in hits per game, tied for 19th in runs allowed, 21st in earned runs. Very common theme here, tied for 21st in home runs as well, 22nd in strikeouts. The pitching has not been abysmal, but it has not been good. I hinted towards the end of last episode that I might want to possibly make a trade, look for a more established starter or reliever. We're not going to do that now, but I think possibly next episode I will be looking at some trade ideas. So I wanted to play the final game of the Mets series, mainly because the first 2 games today, we really didn't have a ton of offense. I didn't really want to play against Jacob deGrom or Joey Lucchesi because both of them have very low ERAs, and obviously Jacob deGrom is the best pitcher in baseball. So I wanted to play that game on the 14th. We ended up splitting the first 2. We lost the game where deGrom started, and we won the other one. So that brings us to the rubber match here, and I think this is a really important game. I know games in the middle of May are not that impactful, but I think this one is. We have an opportunity to win a series against one of the best teams in baseball on national television and on Mother's Day. So I think we're feeling the pressure a little bit. Again, I understand it's only a regular season game in May, but I think this game can really prove to the world that our Orioles are a force to be reckoned with and not some, fluke who happens to start well at the beginning of the season. Here's a look at both lineups 1-9. On the mound for the O's will be Max Meyer, who of course has had a pretty rough season so far. 6.4 ERA in 6 starts. He's not been great. He's got a lot of work to do, and he certainly has a lot to prove here in this game. And if he doesn't start to pick it up, he could see possibly being demoted to the bullpen or even to the minor leagues. Francisco Lindor opens things up with a quick single, so a good start for the New York Mets offense. The Mets are led by their pitching, but they have a lot of guys who can hit the ball on this team, including Dom Smith, who grounds this one right to Meyer, who bobbles it. I think the Orioles wanted to turn 2 there, but instead everybody is safe. An error on Max Meyer, and now they're 2-1. That'll bring up Big Meat Polar Bear Pete, who strikes out a big K for Max Meyer. He needed that one pretty badly. Following batter, it's Michael Conforto, 1-2. Hits that one high in the left center field. Ramos and St. John are chasing after it. Elliot Ramos will call for it, and he makes the grab. So a somewhat shaky first inning, but the Mets did not drive any across, and I don't think the Orioles can be too upset. David Peterson on the bump here for New York. He's 3-2, but his ERA is not great either. A 5.58, 1.73 whip. Again, I chose this game because I wanted to see some offense, because the first 2 games of the day, there wasn't a lot of that. Here's the leadoff batter, Max Muncy, on the 1-1 pitch. He hits that high and pretty deep into right center field. Conforto at the track, at the wall. It is gone. Well, that's one way to set the tone here in the bottom of the first. Max Muncy with his 6th of the year, and the Orioles with a quick 1-0 lead to open up the ballgame. After a Louis St. John walk, that'll bring up Elliot Ramos, who hits that one pretty nicely into right center field. That one will bounce in front of a wall for extra bases. For whatever reason, Ramos decided to go to third. I thought I sent him back in time, but I guess not, and he's going to be out at second. Luckily, the runner would advance from first to third, but still, possibly a wasted opportunity, as that will bring up Jalen Miller. Full count, he goes down looking on the inside fastball. So David Peterson gets out of a little bit of a jam, but the Orioles do score thanks to a Max Muncy home run. Top 2. The Mets are starting to get some more base runners. James McCann draws a walk, and Max Muncy finds himself in another jam. This time he won't really get out of it, as Francisco Lindor gets his second base hit of the day. That will drive in a run, and the Mets will tie the game up at 1 as we go to the bottom half of the inning now. Willie Calhoun playing DH today instead of Ryan Mountcastle leading it off. And Calhoun with a bomb. If it's fair, it's gone, and that one goes off the foul pole. Solo home run for Willie Calhoun, his first of the year, and the Orioles get the lead right back. A big shot there for Calhoun later in the inning. That'll bring up Max Muncy, and he connects on a high slider up in the zone. His second home run of the day, and the Orioles offense has exploded up to this point. Muncy with his second home run of the day, 7th of the year. That was a 2-run shot. And the Orioles now lead 4-1 as the offense is on an incredible start. Let's go to the top of the 4th inning now. It's the veteran Robinson Cano with no outs driving in a run. Yes, we're in the year 2023, and Robinson Cano is still a starter. Not only that, but on a championship-level team. First and third now, 1 away for Francisco Lindor, who's going to fly this one out to center. Elliot Ramos makes the play, but that's going to be too tough of a throw. Run scores via the sac fly, and the New York Mets will cut the lead down to 1 as it's now 4-3. Let's go to the bottom of the inning now. 4-3 your score as Heston Kjerstad now the deep shot. If it's fair, it's out of here, and it's just foul. That would have been the 4th home run by a lefty today. And that's significant because David Peterson, the starting pitcher, is a lefty. That one was only 15 feet away from the foul pole, and then on the very next pitch, Kjerstad gets fooled by the slider. So a potential wasted opportunity there. It remains a 1-run game. Later in the inning, actually the very next batter, it would be Blaze Jordan. 3-1 pitch, grounds this one right to short. Lindor flips it over to Jeff McNeil, who gets it to Pete Alonso to turn the double play. And the Orioles really had a shot to drive some in, but they could not. One at the top of the 5th, Max Meyer would be taken out of the game. The long reliever, Adrian Marrejon, would enter. He's had a rough year as well. Had he been playing better, then maybe he would have replaced Meyer in the rotation by now. And the first batter of the inning, Dominic Smith, will rip a double. Normally that'd be an out, but because the Orioles played the shift very poorly, the Mets now have a runner in scoring position with nobody out. First and second now for Jeff McNeil. He draws a walk, and the bases are now juiced. A huge opportunity right here for the Mets to capitalize and possibly tie or take the lead. And that one would be lifted into right field. Heston Kjerstad will make the play. However, Dominic Smith will score. And the New York Mets tie the game up at 4. It seemed like the Orioles had a comfortable lead early in this game, but their offense has not played as well the past few innings. Bottom 5, 2 gone for LSJ, Louis St. John. And that one will bounce for an extra base hit. St. John now 1 for 2 in this game with a double and a walk. He has slowed down a little bit after his absurdly good start, but he has still been remarkable. Elliot Ramos goes down looking at the four-seam fastball. That'll end the 5th inning. That'll probably end David Peterson's day, and although he started off really poorly, you got to give him credit. 3 straight shutout innings of work. Let's go to the 6th inning now. Mario Holland's still in, as this one is going to be grounded. Blaze Jordan deflects it. Can he flip it to first in time? He does. A great play by Jordan to get the out. James McCann is wondering what the hell just happened. Bottom 6, still tied at 4. Jared Eichhoff is in relief here for the Mets. With 2 away, he faces off against Marco Luciano, who deflects that one off of his thigh. Luciano reaches first safely. Eichhoff is a little bit shaken up, but he would be good to return in the game. There are so many cutscenes with the players, specifically the pitchers, acting banged up. I don't think I've ever seen where the pitcher's gotten hurt to where he has to be taken out of the game. Heston Kjerstad checks his swing on the high fastball. And again, the Orioles offense still has been shut out since the 2nd inning. Travis Lakin Sr. is now in here in the top of the 7th. He's had a great season so far for Baltimore, trying to keep that going today. As with 1 out and nobody on, Jeff McNeil lofts a single into center. So the Mets do give themselves a base runner and an opportunity to strike. They would not capitalize, as a couple batters later, it'll be a grounder second. Jalen Miller makes the play. And the score remains tied at 4 going into the bottom of the 7th. Both offenses have been pretty much blanked the past few innings. Baltimore trying to get back on track, as that one will go off the wall from the bat of Adley Rutschman. He slides into second safely with a double. Rutschman with his 2nd hit of the game, and he continues to absolutely mash the cover off the baseball here in the month of May. Big opportunity for Louis St. John, who unfortunately grounds this one to third. J.D. Davis makes the play. And the Orioles do not capitalize. Game remains tied at 4 with 2 innings of regulation to go. Top of the 8th now, it's Francisco Lindor, who's been awesome today. Gets that one high, deep, into left center field. Does it have the carry? It does. A solo shot for Francisco Lindor, who is 4 for 4 today. He has 3 singles, a sac fly, and now a home run. Lakins will be taken out of the game, and the former Met, Edwin Diaz, will enter. Diaz was never really all that great with the Mets, but so far here in Baltimore, he's been pretty good. Unfortunately, his day would not start off strong. The first 2 batters reach base. Dominic Smith, as you can see, draws a walk. Pete Alonso would also draw a walk, so Edwin Diaz's first 3 batters reach, and the bases are now loaded. Mets with a strong opportunity to possibly extend the lead, but they might not do that. 6-4-3, double play. Luciano to Miller to Jordan. And the Mets only score 1. They do take the lead, but you got to feel like they really wasted a strong opportunity to give themselves a strong lead. Dylan Betances is going to enter in relief here in the bottom of the 8th as he gets Elliot Ramos to go down looking. Ramos has had 2 strikeouts looking in this ball game. That one probably hurts. Ryan Mountcastle now up, so of course Willie Calhoun started the game at DH. Mountcastle subbed in about halfway through, and Mountcastle in his 2nd at-bat of the day would strike out as well. Top 9, Alex Colomé in his 20th appearance of the year. He's been pretty good so far and trying to get through this one pretty easily. And he does. A 1-2-3 inning finished off by a Robinson Cano strikeout. So that brings us to the bottom of the 9th. Only a 1-run game. Trevor May is in. He's 11 for 12 in save opportunities, but his ERA is at 6.5. That's not great. With 1 away, Heston Kjerstad is up. He goes down looking on the low fastball. The Orioles have gone down looking a lot today. There have been a few questionable calls by the umpires there behind the dish. So Blaze Jordan would have been next up, but Baltimore makes a substitution. Liam Bumaye will be in instead. 1-1 pitch. Bumaye will rip that one past Jeff McNeil for a base hit. And Baltimore now is a runner on, the tying run on base, the winning run at the plate for Max Muncy, who has 2 home runs in this game. This will be a nice time to get a 3rd. Unfortunately, that does not look like it's going to be the case as it's fouled back. McCann under it, and the Mets steal this one away from the Baltimore Orioles. Final score 5-4. This felt like a game that we never should have lost, But unfortunately, we did. And as I said, I felt like this game was really significant, an opportunity to show the world that we're not the Baltimore Orioles of the past. But I guess everybody has reason to doubt us now. I still think this team is in a really good spot, and I do want to make some moves next episode, but this was a game I really wanted to win, and I was unfortunate that we were unable to pull away. One of the main reasons why New York won was their strong bullpen performance. They did not allow any runs after the second inning. Our offense wasn't terrible. We got 11 hits, 4 runs. The offense just was not consistent, and I mean, again, we didn't score after the second inning, so I don't want to say the offense did that good. So we're going to stop here. I hope everybody enjoyed. Next time, we're going to play 2 more games of the Big League Club. We're going to simulate up to the MLB Draft, which will be the following episode. Hope everybody enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. Peace.